say anything because he's one of those guys. Remember I did that story last week, like, where are all Diddy's friends? Because the silence is deafening.
Will they be shown these tapes?
100%.
Will they have to watch it in court? Like during
100%.
He's one of those guys. Remember I did that story last week, like, where are all Diddy's friends? Because the silence is deafening.
Ashton Kutcher, Will Smith, and Kanye West are all speaking out about Diddy, with reports suggesting Kutcher may soon receive a subpoena to testify in Diddy's upcoming hearing. As more celebrities publicly distance themselves from him, questions arise about what Diddy has to say to Kutcher and why this sudden shift is happening. What's behind these revelations, and why are stars now calling out Diddy? Let's uncover the truth.
Ashton and Puffy, or Diddy, have been friends for decades. And they've done movies together, they've hung out together, and he can't say anything because he's one of those guys. Remember I did that story last week, like, where are all Diddy's friends? Because the silence is deafening. A lot of them don't want people looking into their closet, but Ashton doesn't want the blowback that he got with Danny Masterson.
All right, so pretty tepid in how they reply. Meantime, we're hearing Diddy's ex, Cassie, is cooperating with the feds during this investigation.
100%.
What more is she saying, Paula?
She's not saying anything. So here's the deal. She had sued him for sex trafficking, a bunch of horrible laundry list of stuff. And he settled. It's the one case he settled. It was the first case he settled it. I'm hearing for around $30 million. However, just because you settle a case, you may have an NDA, but if the feds come a knocking, you better answer.
Government, they could subpoena Ashton Kutcher to provide information, right? And that's something we've been wondering. A big talking point is, well, why didn't that you have these federal agents that swarm these properties? Sometimes a raid like that is in conjunction with an indictment and arrest. Here, it's not the case. I'm of the opinion they're still in the evidence gathering phase. They have to process everything that was recovered from the homes. But I also was suspecting that they're issuing subpoenas to a lot of people right now to get a better understanding of what that looks like. And if that's the case, and Ashton Kutcher was issued a subpoena, then no wonder he wouldn't be saying anything about Diddy right now either, right?
Well, that's right. And, let's underline the significance of those raids, okay? We have the Fourth Amendment that says that unreasonable searches and seizures are prohibited in this country. Federal agents can't simply legally barge into someone's home without having persuaded a judge to issue a warrant, to sign off on a warrant application. So, that's, and it's not something that you do early on in an investigation if you don't have enough support to justify a warrant.
Data isn't done early unless there's substantial evidence to justify it. Ashton Kutcher being called to testify against Diddy comes at a crucial time in his career as he attempts to return to acting. This could be devastating for him. Back in 2020, Ashton and Mila Kunis publicly supported convicted offender Danny Masterson, which led to major fallout, forcing Ashton to resign from his company and nearly ending his marriage. Now being linked to Diddy, whose allegations are far more severe, could make things even worse for him. Danny Masterson was convicted on 3 counts in 2020, but Diddy allegedly has over 100 victims. With more celebrities speaking out and distancing themselves from Diddy, Ashton's potential involvement in this case could further damage his already struggling reputation. The question remains, what will happen next in this unfolding scandal?
Backlash today for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis after their video explaining why they wrote letters of support for convicted rapist Danny Masterson. The actors were criticized for calling their former co-star a role model, among other things. And the consensus is that video didn't help.
We are aware of the pain.
Fierce backlash today for Ashton Kutcher and wife Mila Kunis. They apologized for the character letter, calling That 70s Show star Danny Masterson an outstanding role model and exceptional older brother figure with a caring nature.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read. and we're sorry.
One of the women Masterson was sentenced last week of known only as Jane Doe number 1, is slamming their apology. This video was incredibly insulting and hurtful. Chrissy Bixler, another Masterson accuser, blasted Kutcher. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor, referring to Masterson.
That 70s show star Danny Masterson is behind bars and will be for a long, long time. If you did not hear the news, he was sentenced yesterday for a rape case, 2 rapes actually, and got 30 years to life. And there are already concerns about his mental state. As he has begun serving his time, he was remanded immediately in court, and now police are concerned.
They are watching him. They are watching him very, very closely, and they're not using that word,
right,
but they're talking about mental health. They're seeing if there's any signs of distress behind bars. They don't want to happen to him what we've seen happen to other high-profile celebrities.
Every major celebrity connected to Diddy is either distancing themselves or stepping away from the spotlight. Ashton Kutcher being called to testify has sent shockwaves through Hollywood, making others fearful of potential fallout. The situation has grown so intense that even Will Smith recently felt the need to address rumors. During a concert in San Diego, he outright denied ever attending a Diddy freak-off party. As more details emerge, celebrities are scrambling to protect their reputations.
The world we're in right now is really hard for y'all to discern what's real and what's true, you know? And I've been seeing y'all memes and stuff. People be making memes. I see the memes. I see them now. Some of that stuff is funny. Some of it's funny. But I haven't addressed any of this publicly, but I just want to say this very clearly. I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop all their memes. Y'all can stop all that. I ain't been nowhere near no damn freak off. Listen, I do enough of my own. Don't be putting me in other people's. I ain't been nowhere near that, man. I ain't did none of that stupid. So, whenever y'all hear it, if somebody say that, it's a damn lie. I don't even like baby oil. I haven't said that publicly. I just said y'all the first time. I usually don't respond to dumb stuff because it's like people get so many things. People say so much stuff, but you know that one your memes was doing too much. Y'all was having me mad.
While most celebrities distance themselves from Diddy, Kanye West remains one of the few still supporting him. After making several anti-Semitic rants on X, Kanye has now publicly backed Diddy, even releasing an exclusive audio call from prison sharing what Diddy had to say. Despite the controversy surrounding both figures, Kanye continues to stand by Diddy as the situation unfolds.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love you so much, man. It's like you raised me even when I didn't know you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They can't do it. They can't do it. They ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm gonna beat this shit and get next to you. Yeah. We're gonna raise our families and become the kings that we're supposed to be. You feel me? Yeah, absolutely. But words can't explain how much it means to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like being left for dead and only one person coming to do anything to get you. That's the level of appreciation that I have.
Things are deteriorating for both Diddy and Ashton Kutcher. Since 2020, Ashton has been trying to distance himself from the allegations surrounding his friendships, first with Danny Masterson and now with Diddy. In a recent interview, Ashton expressed regret for supporting Masterson, calling it one of his biggest mistakes. As the pressure builds, Ashton continues to face scrutiny over his associations, adding to the challenges he's already dealing with in his personal and professional life.
Over 5 years after Danny Masterson's allegations surfaced, his former That 70s Show co-star Ashton Kutcher breaks his silence. The actor opens up to Esquire. In short, it's complicated. Kutcher wants Masterson to be found innocent of the charges brought against him, but at the same time doesn't want his friend to get off the hook. Quote, "I wholesale feel for anybody who feels like they were violated in any way." In 2017, Masterson was hit with multiple sexual accusations, which he denied. At the time, he and Kutcher were co-stars on another sitcom, The Ranch.
What are you talking about?
When you sit with your friends and you know when their sentences are about to end.
In the wake of the allegations, Netflix fired Masterson. His character Rooster written off.
So you got two choices. Either take that bag and disappear, or you could just disappear.
In 2020, he was charged with sexually assaulting 3 women between 2001 and 2003. As Kutcher sees it, ultimately, I can't know. I'm not the judge, I'm not the jury, I'm not the DA, I'm not the victim, and I'm not the accused. With that in mind, Kutcher concludes, "I don't have a space to comment, I just don't know."
Supporting a criminal is one thing, but allegedly helping them with minors crosses a line. Ashton Kutcher is now under scrutiny for reportedly knowing about Diddy's actions, but failing to report or stop him. Even more troubling, in the early 2000s, Ashton is said to have invited minors to Diddy's parties himself. This raises serious questions about his role in these events, if he truly was unaware, or if this behavior suggests something more sinister. Is this how an innocent person behaves?
Hey! Oh my gosh, that's so wrong!
So good, you're doing so good.
I just want to say, everyone will suffer. Do you remember worrying?
That party tonight? Yeah!
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punk. He was like, yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out and watch football together.
Ashton Kutcher's life has been in a downward spiral since 2019. In a disturbing incident, he was allegedly involved in the murder of 22-year-old Ashley Ellerin, whom he had been seeing. Ashton reportedly went to pick Ashley up for a date and noticed blood on the carpet, but chose to ignore it. He claims that Ashley never came out to meet him, and it wasn't until later that he learned she had been tragically murdered. This event has added to the controversy surrounding Ashton.
About Ashton Kutcher, because Ashton Kutcher, who I believe could possibly just as bad. Ashton Kutcher as well, listen, he's not guilty of this, but he arranged a date. He was late for that date, and when he got to the girl's house, he looked through the window. She was stabbed 47 times. The man ended up getting charged, but Ashton Kutcher was also involved with Abercrombie and Fitch. I think it's Mr. Jeffries who's just been done for trafficking. Ashton Kutcher was also friends with Brittany Murphy, who also was friends with P. Diddy, who also died the same death as Kim Porter. Now, Ashton Kutcher as well also runs a child protection thing, I think it's called Fawn, where he's trying to save children. But we know now a lot of these people use this thing for child to actually not expose it, but to gain from their own benefit. He was also married to Demi Moore, and there was a video of Demi Moore kissing a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old boy. I just feel as if there's a lot of darkness around these people. I feel as if they feel as if they're untouchable. I genuinely think he could be next Ashton Kutcher. Am I wrong here, or could this be right?
Her name was Ashley Ellen, and they were actually going on a date the night that she was found dead. Ashton Kutcher told the court that he screwed up on the night that his girlfriend was horrifically murdered. He told the judge that he was freaking out after learning that Ashley was butchered the same evening they were due to go on a date. Ashton even saw his date's blood splattered on the carpet, which he put down to a red wine stain when he was looking through the window trying to check if she was home, because her car was there, the lights were on, yet she wasn't answering the door. Ashley was a fashion student, and she actually met Ashton at a Christmas party, but at that point he was in a relationship. Once he became single, he called her up and asked her to go out, because Danny Masterson's accuser details an alleged call with Ashton Kutcher the night his date was murdered. Chrissy wrote in a statement on Instagram, "Dear Ashton, I know the secrets your role model keeps for you, ones that will end you. Did you forget I was there? You were on speaker that night you called Danny on February 21st, 2001. I heard everything. I heard the plan. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor." And that was the day that Ashley lost her life. So why did Ashton call Danny, and what did he have to tell him?
This guy, Michael, the serial killer, was able to go do it again because the cops weren't able to actually process the case because they knew Ashton Kutcher was indeed lying. So what was he lying about? Well, here's Chrissy Vixer coming in, who was dating Danny Masterson at the time. You actually know your secrets, your role model keeps for you, ones that would end you. Did you forget I was there? You were on speakerphone the night you called Danny on February 21st, 2001. I heard everything. I heard the plan. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor. Now, what was this plan? Yes, he was in his car for over an hour outside of Ashley's house, speaking with his manager about what to do to protect Ashton's career and reputation. He then called Danny. I heard the entire conversation. Law enforcement was and is aware of what I'm saying.
Is it just a coincidence that Ashton Kutcher has been involved in multiple murder cases over the last 5 years? How does he keep ending up as best friends with people like convicted child molesters? The pattern raises serious questions about his associations and whether there's more to these connections than mere chance.
Rumors then began to swirl that the actor and his wife might be heading towards a breakup. However, a source slammed the split speculation, telling People Wednesday this is absolutely ridiculous and false. Meanwhile, another source appeared to clarify to the outlet about Ashton and the rapper's bond, saying, "Ashton has no involvement in any of this. He doesn't belong in this conversation about Diddy. Ashton has only seen Diddy in a handful of social and business events, all of which have been documented by the media." Diddy was arrested last week in New York on charges of sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He pleaded not guilty but was denied bail.
Allegedly, Ashton Kutcher founded his company Thorn in an attempt to distance himself from his ties to Diddy. However, despite his efforts to move on, it's becoming harder for him to maintain the image of innocence. His past associations and actions continue to haunt him, making it difficult to escape the scrutiny.
My job is as the chairman and the co-founder of Thorn. We build software to fight human trafficking and the sexual exploitation of children. That's our core mission. My other day job is that of the father of two, a 2-month-old and a 2-year-old. And as part of that job that I take very seriously, I believe that it is my effort to defend their right to pursue happiness and to ensure a society and government that defends it as well. But the right to pursue happiness for so many is stripped away. It's ripped. It's abused. It's taken by force, fraud, or coercion. It is sold for the momentary happiness of another. I've seen video content of a child that's the same age as mine being raped by an American man that was a sex tourist in Cambodia. And this child was so conditioned by her environment that she thought she was engaging in play.
Celebrities have fled the U.S. or moved overseas to avoid being involved in the Diddy drama, and Diddy is aware of this. Ashton Kutcher was also planning to leave, but his plans changed after a leaked call from Diddy's prison revealed more about their connection.
I think I wasn't gonna get at you from the inside.
He has reached out to a witness, an alleged participant
in multiple freak-offs.
Then why Oprah staying quiet? Why Ellen moving to another country?
And he's asking people to intimidate witnesses or pay people off.
Don't be shocked if nobody show up to testify. Don't contact me anymore, Puff. I already got that Houston lawyer breathing down my neck over that 13-year-old girl. If you don't want things to get worse for you, then you need to start answering my son's phone call.
The defendant's goal is to blackmail victims and witnesses either into silence or providing testimony helpful to his defense.
New York is having a problem with leaks in this Diddy case, with alleged video of the court hearings already on the internet and leaked phone calls where he's calling witnesses. Things are getting out of control and you won't believe what he says on these calls. Recently, the DA released that Diddy was contacting witnesses from jail and they were saying this is the reason that he shouldn't get bail. He was using other inmates' phone calls to three-way people who would then call the witnesses, and that's who he spoke to over the phone. Also, in a weird turn of events, the DA who brought these charges against Diddy is suddenly resigning from his position during the biggest case of his career, and that is strange. So let's break down this insane phone call that we found online. Legal disclaimer, people, I'm just a guy that reacts to stuff I find on the internet. So as of right now, everything is rumors, gossip, or opinions of others. Everything in this video is just alleged.
Ellen DeGeneres is saying goodbye to the USA. Multiple outlets are reporting that the comedian and wife Portia de Rossi are bidding farewell to the United States and are moving across the pond to rural England. Reports say the couple was driven to their decision after the election of Donald Trump, though had put the wheels in motion prior to Election Day. Ellen previously voiced her support for Kamala Harris on Instagram, posting back in August, "There's nothing more powerful than a woman whose time has come. I can't wait for Kamala Harris to be our next president." Ellen and Portia are said to be getting ready to put their primary residence on the market. The home is in Montecito, California, and the two purchased the estate back in 2019. The stand-up comedian previously opened up about being, quote, kicked out of Hollywood during a recent Netflix special, referencing the toxic workplace allegations that dogged her daytime talk show prior to her exit from
The Diddy has been trying to contact witnesses and individuals who could testify against him. Prosecutors claim that call records from the Metropolitan Detention Center showed Diddy was in touch with witnesses, sometimes attempting to harass or bribe them into silence. Given his history with Ashton, it's highly likely that Diddy tried reaching out to him as well, further complicating the situation and raising serious concerns about his actions during the ongoing investigation.
The latest on Sean Diddy Combs, prosecutors are accusing Combs of trying to contact prospective witnesses and obstruct the case against him. Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, is here with more on that. Good morning to you, Aaron.
Good morning, Robin. Sean Combs going to be asking a judge this week to release him on bail, but prosecutors now say the argument for detention has only gotten stronger. This morning, federal prosecutors are accusing Sean Diddy Combs of escalating his attempts to influence the jury pool and subvert his criminal case. Almost immediately after arriving at the federal jail in Brooklyn, prosecutors say Combs started using telephone accounts of at least 8 other inmates to call people not on his approved contact list.
Can't nobody hold me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving.
Prosecutors allege Combs frequently instructs family members and his attorneys to add other individuals via three-way call, which is not allowed. On some of those calls, prosecutors say Combs is explicit about his intention to use public statements to sway potential jurors, including this Instagram post by Diddy's kids.
Happy birthday to Daddy.
Prosecutors say Combs enlisted family members to plan and execute a social media campaign around the defendant's birthday, the first time we heard his voice from behind bars.
Thank y'all for being strong and thank y'all for being by my side and supporting me. I love y'all. I got the best family in the world.
Prosecutors say Combs then monitored audience engagement from the video.
Diddy is allegedly attempting to suppress key evidence from being presented in the upcoming trial. His legal team has filed a motion to have this evidence dismissed, seeking to prevent it from impacting the case. This strategic move indicates Diddy's efforts to control the narrative and minimize the potential fallout as the trial approaches.